Growing up, we all thought our favorite TV heroes were perfect. The brave explorers, the lovable castaways, the magical wives, the families who never had a bad day. But what if they weren't the good guys? What if we missed the signs, the motives, the mistakes, the secrets hiding in plain sight? This is the show where I revisit classic television, not with nostalgia, but with investigation. Welcome to The Good Guys, or were they? The A-Team, the good guys, or were they? An expose on vigilante justice, collateral damage, and heroes who never missed, but somehow never killed anyone. On the surface, the A-Team was a weekly fantasy of justice. Four wronged soldiers framed for a crime they didn't commit, roaming the country and helping those who couldn't help themselves. They were charming, unstoppable, and always on the right side of the fight. But take a closer look. Past the explosions, the one-liners, and the flying jeeps, and a stranger question emerges. Were they heroes or just very polite outlaws? John Hannibal Smith, mastermind or manipulator? Hannibal was the brain, the planner, the man with the cigar and the catchphrase. But look closer at his leadership style. He withheld information from his own team. He routinely placed teammates in extreme danger without full consent. He manipulated enemies and allies to achieve his goals. He treated chaos like a chessboard. Hannibal didn't just love it when a plan came together. He loved being the only one who knew the plan. Was he a hero or a general who never stopped fighting a war that was already over? Face, Templeton Peck, con man with a conscience or just a better liar? Face was a smooth talker, charming, persuasive, irresistible, but his talents raised questions. He lied for a living, even to innocent people. He used romance as a tactical tool. He blurred the line between help and manipulation. He exploited trust as easily as villains did. Face didn't just deceive bad guys, he deceived everyone. Was he helping the helpless or justifying deception because it paid emotionally instead of financially? B.A. Baracus, gentle giant or controlled weapon? B.A. was the muscle, feared by enemies, loved by fans. But beneath the gold chains and tough exterior, he was constantly drugged against his will to keep him compliant. His trauma from combat was played for laughs. His fear of flying was overridden repeatedly. His morality was weaponized, while his consent was ignored. BA was the team's conscience, the one who hated killing, hated deception, hated hurting people. And yet, he was the one most often controlled. Was BA part of the team, or was he the team's most exploited asset? Howling Mad Murdock. Comic relief or untreated PTSD. Murdock was introduced as crazy, unpredictable, hilarious, but rewatch the show with modern eyes. He lived in a psychiatric facility. His behavior was dismissed instead of treated. His trauma was masked as humor. His instability was used strategically. Was Murdock insane? Or was he the only one reacting honestly to the reality they lived in? Hunted, betrayed, and never safe? Sometimes the craziest person in the room is just the one who refuses to pretend everything is fine. The body count that never was. Every episode featured massive explosions, crashing vehicles, falling helicopters, buildings collapsing, yet somehow no one ever died. This wasn't realism, it was moral insulation. The A-Team destroyed property, endangered civilians, and left chaos behind. But the show insisted they were good guys because the violence was sanitized. If the same actions happened in real life, would they still be heroes? The law. Villains, or the only ones asking questions. The military and police were portrayed as bumbling, cruel, or corrupt. But from their perspective, the A-Team was armed fugitives. They operated without oversight. They took justice into their own hands. They never stood trial. Were the authorities wrong? Or were they the only ones trying to restore order in a world where vigilantes always escaped before consequences arrived? So, were they really the good guys? The A-Team helped people. That part is true. They protected the weak. That matters. But they also lived above the law, decided guilt on their own, used manipulation as policy, turned trauma into lifestyle. They weren't villains, but they weren't exactly heroes either. They were men frozen in wartime, carrying out justice in a civilian world that no longer had rules they trusted. And maybe that's why we loved them. Because sometimes the fantasy isn't about doing the right thing, it's about doing something when the system feels broken. This has been The Good Guys, or were they? And I'm your host, Ted Smith, your classic shows investigative analyst. Be sure to subscribe so you won't miss any of the upcoming episodes. And thank you for listening.